welcome everyone to this afternoon's panel talk. This is about our range of social sciences courses that are available from ATU Sligo. I'll just introduce myself first. I'm Cleo Devaney and I am the Marketing and Student Recruitment Manager at ATU Sligo. And I'll tell you who I'm joined by today. I'm joined by Dr. Natalie Delamate, who is a lecturer and Programme Director for our Level 6 qualification in social prescribing. Hi, Natalie. Also on the panel today is Esther Quinn, who's lecturer and Programme Director of our Masters in Professional Leadership. Hi Esther, thanks for joining us. And finally, we have Rory Concannon, who is a graduate of our MA in Professional Leadership. So thank you, Rory, for joining us today. So we're going to spend about 20 minutes talking about these different courses that are available. There is a live Q&A also taking place this evening, and you can place your questions in the live chat and we have a team available to answer any questions that you have. So if you anything crops up here and you'd like to ask, please do feel free to do so. Also then, just to give you a bit of background, at ATU Sligo we have a really strong offering in our undergraduate courses in the Faculty of Business and Social Sciences. So within the Department of Social Sciences we have social care practice, early years education, sociology and politics, and our academic teams have worked to develop a range of online and flexible learning programs that will support our undergraduates, I suppose, if they're trying to progress and to specialise, but also it offers a full range of kind of qualifications from level 6 right through to level 9. So what we wanted to do today was give you a flavour of some of those courses, and the first one we'll talk to today is with Dr. Natalie Delamate. So that is a very new and innovative course that we offer in the area of social prescribing. And we launched that course last year, so we've just had our first full year intake through, so that's fantastic. And Natalie can just talk a little bit about the course, who it should appeal to, and again, what does it offer? So Natalie, I'll just hand over to you now. If you want to just give, again, because it's a new enough field, and I think sometimes people are unsure, what does a certificate in social prescribing actually mean?
Okay, thanks a million, Cleo. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's what, as far as I'm aware, we're still the only certificate in social prescribing in the country. Now, many people have not come across the term social prescribing before. And basically what it means is that rather than going to your doctor and maybe getting a tablet or something like that, if you're feeling depressed or lonely, that your doctor might have said in the past, maybe what you need is a little bit of social interaction, that what's actually going on for people. Now, that's not to suggest for a minute that it would replace anything like that, but what is beginning to come through in the research is that there's a lot of people who are experiencing social isolation, loneliness, and this is bringing them to doctors, bringing them to A&E departments, and what people actually need is social interaction. And social prescribing is prescribing people social interaction rather than maybe going for the more kind of traditional medical approach first off. The course here in IT Sligo is fully online, here at Atlantic Technological University, I should say, is fully online. There's 4 modules, 2 in semester 1, 2 in semester 2. They both take place in the evening from 7 till 9, usually Tuesday or Thursday. Now, we cover all the different elements of social prescribing. So just to say, what would really happen is if you go to your doctor and maybe your doctor feels that you're a candidate, you might go to a social prescribing link worker. And a link worker, and this is who we're really designed for, is to give link workers the skills that they need to engage in social prescribing. So a link worker, if you go to your link worker will have mapped out your kind of local area, and that's one of the modules we do, is mapping your local area to find out the different local resources. So that might be, if you wanted to give up smoking, it might be smoking cessation. If you wanted to go hill walking, art classes, it depends on what your interests are. They will have mapped out the whole area. They will also be have learned kind of various skills in terms of communication, and also in terms of gathering data and to see how people are progressing and how effective this is. So the 4 different modules cover those areas. We introduce with a very kind of broad range of theory. Then that's social prescribing 1. Social prescribing 2 looks at community resources and creative communication. So that's where we do mapping and we do a little bit of drawing, which is great. Everybody loves that. In semester 2, we look at social inclusion and effective communication. So that's where we start to look at things like, diversity, inclusion, how maybe some of our assumptions can make it difficult for people to access social resources. So it's about addressing that kind of thing. And then the final module is social prescribing form, which is evidence-informed practice. And that's really about how to gather data, but also how to help people recognize the improvements that are happening in their own lives. So we look at a lot of online tools and how to measurement tools so that people could see how they're improving. So that's the 4 modules. It takes place over a year. As I said, it's pretty much online. There's 2 assessments per module. And one of the most exciting things about the course is that it's been developed in accordance with the principles of universal design for learning, which means that people are able to submit their assessments in a variety of different ways. Some people present posters, which involve their own drawings or downloaded kind of images or whatever. Some people write essays or reports or whatever. So if you come and do the course, you'll see there's a lot of dynamic different ways. And there's also a lot of ancillary skills that people can pick up from kind of how to do kind of drawing, how to do mapping, how to all sorts of other online kind of tools. So after the first year, I have to say now we haven't actually got anyone graduating just yet because the course isn't 100% over, but the feedback from students has been extremely positive. And one of the reasons for that is that the course is, the delivery is a combination of kind of recorded lectures or recorded material, which you can access through Moodle, but also live online discussions. And students really love that. It's small groups of students all chatting together, working at different things, problem solving, and people make connections that way, which I think they will probably use throughout the rest of their careers. So it's a very good networking opportunity as well.
No, that's fantastic, Natalie. And again, I think you've given a great overview and an explanation of kind of where it fits in the whole healthcare, ecosystem. Just something that you mentioned was around linked providers, is it? No.
Link workers.
Link workers, that's it.
Yeah.
So a link worker, I know you'd mentioned to me before about, the model. So in Ireland, the profession is just, again, it's supported by policy, government policy, isn't it?
It is.
And then, but also like if you look at the model in the UK and how it has evolved there, I think that's a good indication of kind of where this fits within the whole health ecosystem.
Absolutely. The social prescribing link working is done slightly different here to the UK. In the UK, it's very much done within primary healthcare settings. Here, it's done more in community settings. So, for example, it's very common to see it in kind of leader partnership organizations or family resource centers. The HSE launched 2 documents, most recently the social prescribing framework, where they highlighted that there are currently 53 social prescribing link workers working in Ireland, and they intend to extend that over the coming year or so to over 100. Now, in the UK, they were kind of the lead on the whole practice of social prescribing, and they started out, I'm not quite sure how many they started out with, but recently, a couple of years ago, they decided because of research and feedback to increase this number to 1,000, and then in the last year, they've just announced that they're going to increase that number to 4,000 social prescribing link workers. Yeah. So it's a really rapidly evolving area, and that's one of the things that's very dynamic about it at the moment. It's still evolving, so people coming in at this level are shaping it, and it's evolving really in response to need at the moment, and different kind of and it has a huge potential to evolve in different directions. That's one of the things. So In terms of the student cohort, the potential student cohort, while I would see this course being very attractive to people who are exploring the possibility of a career as a social prescribing link worker, it's also of interest to anyone maybe engaging in social care practice, in healthcare, in community development, but also as someone who has a background in arts myself, I could see it being something that art centres might want to have a social prescribing link worker. Universities might want to have a social prescribing link worker. It has huge application because it's really about supporting people who might have a little bit of difficulty really engaging, and particularly post-COVID, this is an issue right across the board. Supporting people, mapping the resources maybe within large organisations like or institutions like universities, and supporting people to engage with those. So it might actually help people engage with their arts community. It might help people engage with their education on an ongoing basis.
Fantastic. Look, thank you, Natalie. And I know there's other materials and resources on our website where you can get more information on the course. And I think it's great to get that quick overview, but there's lots more available there. So thank you, Natalie, for your time today.
My pleasure.
I'm going to move on
Leo.
now just to talk to Esther and Rory, because you're covering the professional leadership masters, but there's also other options there for people. So Esther, you're the program director there, and so you have a really good overview of kind of what the program offers in general. I suppose when somebody's considering it, it's presented as a master's course. There's obviously entry requirements that people need to consider. If you could just talk to me about kind of if somebody's looking at the professional leadership course and wondering is it right for them, what advice do you have for them?
Thanks, Cleo. So as you mentioned, in the professional leadership space, we have two programs. So we have a one-year postgraduate certificate. So both our programs are online part-time. The postgrad certificate is a one-year program and the MA is a two-year online program. So both these programs are aiming to support the development of knowledge, skills and competencies in the modern organisation leadership role. So it appeals to individuals in the public, private sector and not-for-profit sector. So we have a real diverse cohort of students doing this programme at different stages in their careers. So it's lovely to have a real mixture. With regards to the postgrad certificate, there is the opportunity then to progress onto the Masters of Arts and Professional Leadership, which Rory did and will speak a little bit more about. So students can exit after year one with the postgraduate certificate or progress onto year two to take on their research thesis in year two.
Great. And in terms of like the study commitment that's needed, students, I suppose, again, you do look at and you understand that you have to kind of set aside time, to actually put into the studies. There's the lectures, there's a self-guided study. What advice do you have for somebody who's wondering if they can balance what they have going on in their life along with kind of adding studies to that?
Yeah, thanks, Cleo. That's a great question because this programme and, committing to any online programme, especially at level 9 at a postgrad level, it does require a significant commitment. So we always advise applicants to really, we advise them of what the commitments are, but really to come in with your eyes wide open with regards to that level of commitment. And, it's important that, hopefully you'll have support, maybe have your family on board because it does take time away from other commitments and ideally if your employer's on board as well. But it is something that the students that we see are at that stage in their career that they're really keen to embark in learning. So it just requires a real commitment, Cleo, and to be on board with that.
Yeah. And just on that as well, again, the people come in from different backgrounds, different industry experience. Again, I think you've said before that adds great, it's a great mix, that you, again, within the dynamic of the class cohort, that you end up kind of with lots of different viewpoints and insights from different backgrounds.
Yes, so it's I think it's of real value in this programme, and the feedback we get from our students is that it really enriches the programme, having that peer-to-peer learning and having the opportunity to engage with peers from a really diverse range of backgrounds. So it really enriches the programme. You get to collaborate, you get to work together on different projects, and just even in our discussions, in our classes. And I should have mentioned, Cleo, our classes are 2 evenings a week, Tuesday and Thursday. And with regards to the time commitment, there is independent learning and group work. It's continuous assessment based. So there are assessments throughout the 12-week semester.
Oh, very good. And just on that, one final point, Esther, from yourself, and then we'll move on to talk to Rory. One thing we're keen to stress that it is online, like students, you have students from all over kind of taking part in this course.
Yes, that's right. So the program is held entirely online. Classes are recorded if someone can't attend, if there's a time difference or if someone's working shift work, something like that. And we do have 2 residential days, which are on site for people that can attend, but we stream those live as well for our students that aren't here in Sligo.
Oh, that's great. And I know we did want to cover off about electives and those kind of module options, but I might just move on to Rory because he might be able to talk us through his journey. So thank you, Esther, for that. Rory, just thanks for joining us today, and congratulations on completing your Masters. And I know you are actually going on to do further studies. So I suppose before we go down that road, why did you choose to go back and study the Masters in Professional Leadership?
Well, I suppose, first of all, I didn't go back. This was my first qualification in this space. I was working, I had maybe 25 years experience at senior management, executive director level across a number of industries. And I was also doing some consultancy, and I really just wanted to expand my knowledge of leadership and how professional leadership was deployed in the workplace, and give myself more armor, if you like, in the field. But actually, and I thought it would just like augment what I already knew, but actually that wasn't the case at all. The structure of the course, the content of the course was just so extraordinary. It really opened my mind to this extraordinary area, this scientific area of professional leadership, which I really, really thoroughly enjoyed. And from day one, I began to realize how much I didn't know, but it was presented in such an amazing way that I found it so interesting each week, trying to get the next little bit of information and keep going and being fed by this whole program. I found it very enriching. And you were talking to Esther there about the time commitment and that. The fact that it's online was really brilliant for me. When I say online, it's not like you're not watching a video. These are interactive courses, so it's, you're all the classes live. But in the cases where, I was busy on a Wednesday night from 6 on or from 8 on, I could catch the lecture the next morning at 8, which meant it was entirely flexible. So by the end of the week, it fitted into my schedule rather than me fitting into the course's schedule. Now, of course, the time commitment was still there. Like you do have to put in a lot of work to get a master's degree, I think. But it was, it is set up in a way that suits anyone's lifestyle,
And is there any particular standout modules or pathways that you chose? Because again, there is flexibility with the course. There's certain electives you can take, was there anything yourself then that you chose to do that really kind of helped you find your path on it?
Well, I chose my electives based on what I thought would be the easiest, and I went for ethics, and it was actually so brilliant. I loved it so much, and governance. They were 2 areas that I ended up doing my thesis. They formed a central part of my thesis. And the other one I didn't do, which is so interesting, which I'm doing now in my studies, is digitization, the leadership involved in digitization. So they're so topical and so like really pertinent at the moment across so many industries. So I really would have liked to have done all of the electives, but the ones I did choose, I really got a lot out of. I think the overall supports were quite amazing in the course. At times, I mean, as I said, I didn't have a background in this area at all. And at times, I found myself, oh God, am I able for this? Or what will I do? Or what's the next step? And continuously, there are a number of different lecturers that just walk you through the process, give you the support you need, point you in the right direction. And I never ever felt really, worried out of my depth, between the lecturers. And in fact, the camaraderie within the class was extraordinary. Everybody helping each other from all different backgrounds. And the amount of people that I know now that have gone on to do immediate advancement in their careers, or have switched careers, or have opened companies, and have just changed their whole lives for the better, more positively after this course is really brilliant to see. I'm in full-time education now, doing a PhD as a result. I don't know where that's going to lead, but it was genuinely down to this. Really, I can only call it an amazing experience.
Ah, that's so fantastic to hear. And you're obviously, you can tell by that you've really enjoyed it, and it has, because you're smiling constantly. And just if there's somebody, like, again, you've kind of any advice for anybody who's kind of sitting on the fence or just looking, and again, it's hard to, you're bringing it to life here for people. So I think that's great. Like, have you any advice for anybody who's, unsure about it or wondering whether they should take it on?
Yeah, I would absolutely say that if you're even considering doing this program, then you should do it. If the title of professional leadership is in any way appealing to you or in any way connected to what you do in a job, then you should go for this. It will open your mind to all these amazing tools and knowledge that has been built up over 100 years, scientific knowledge about leadership that when deployed, it's quite outstanding. And I think that anybody really should go for it. I think if you're looking for a master's that will just, tick a box for you because that I need a master's to keep going in my career, maybe this isn't it and you could do a master's in something else. This will actually give you real tools, real knowledge. And in fairness, the skill and of the lecturers, and the knowledge level of the lecturers was really out there. So I felt certainly, and most of the class felt that we were, dealing with serious experts in this field. People have really researched it and brought us along. So I just look at it's poor advice. My real advice would be, if you're considering this course and the word leadership appeals to you across any industry, then just go for it. Press the button.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. There was one other topic I was going to cover with you, but I'm very conscious of time. You did say that this was your first, you weren't returning to education. So you had come in kind of at a different level maybe than maybe you would expect. Like, again, how did you find that? Like, taking that leap was probably big for you, was it? It
was a little bit scary, and it probably I could have done it years ago if I'd known how well the guys down there were going to, the process was very well managed. So I went through a process of recognized prior learning, which involved me writing an essay about the stuff I'd done in life, combined with my CV and different awards and different achievements that I gained throughout my professional life. And then I was interviewed. And at the end of that, I got a phone call to say, that there's a committee in the university there that assesses people's prior learning, and they assessed that I was at a degree level so that I could go on and do the master's, which was great. But obviously, then it meant, like, I was worried at the start, really genuinely, having not fully gone through any business degree or anything like that before, or the writing and how would this work, and it was stressful for me, just only because of the unknown and would I be able for it. But really, I was open with the lecturers of my history and where I came from. I told them, look, this is where I'm coming from. I don't really have any history. And everyone was like, no, this is the principles. It's, you do this, and this, and you get through it. And I did. And I didn't find it in any way overwhelming in that sense, because it's broken down week by week. Like, if you just do, that's the one thing, actually, if someone does sign up this, and Esther probably gave me this advice at the time, was don't, just do everything every week. So when you do a lecture and they say you should be looking at this, just look at it that week. And by the end of the master's, your master's is done. If you leave it to the next month, the month after, you have to do a master's in the last few months or the last 6 months. But if you do it every week, it's being done as you go along. Combined with that, the continual assessment, it really works well. Brilliant.
No, look, thank you. And again, each of you could keep talking for hours and hours, but I know our audience probably just want to check in for a little while. And if anything that's been discussed here today, is prompting more questions, please do go into the live Q&A, put in your questions there, and our academic team and our support team will come back to you to help. We're open for applications for any of the courses that we discussed today. We're open for applications right up to the 31st of August. We have a series of live events over the summer. So we've our June event, we've one in July and one in August. So again, if there's anything that, with different talks being provided at those events. So we, again, encourage you to follow us on our social channels or sign up to our email marketing so that you can actually find out about all of this. And I'm just going to close now by saying thank you very much to our panelists, to Natalie, Esther and Rory. Really did appreciate your time today and all your interesting insights. And we look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you.